Alright, so we went over all the skins and cosmetics coming in the Street Style update, but now it's time to talk about the balance. There's a pretty decent amount of balance here. Nothing too massive or meta-changing, even though several different characters did get adjustments. So the first thing has to do with CC immunity. There were different tiers of CC immunity. Two ultimates in the game, Pepper's Evil Mojo and Moji's Bon Appetit, required superior CC immunity in order to fully counter them. Superior CC immunity is the kind of CC immunity you would find in other ultimates. CC immunity from standard abilities like Grok's Totemic Ward or Inara's Mother's Grace didn't block these ultimates, but instead lowered their total duration from 2 to 4 seconds. Obviously, this led to a lot of confusion. To remedy this, there is now only one type of CC immunity and it blocks every CC, including those two ultimates. So now there will be no confusion about CCs and CC immunity interactions. Moving on, we have Ashe, who is having her total health reduced from 4,900 to 4,500. Ashe has much higher health than the rest of the tanks. Ashe is also much more aggressive and has multiple displacement tools, a deployable barrier, and self-sustain with her lifesteal card. Her ability to stay alive while being very aggressive was definitely a bit over the top, and it was making her overperform at multiple levels of play. I can say for a fact that at the higher levels of play, Ashe has been really good for a long time, and has only gotten better and better as time has passed. So lowering her health to put her more in line with the other front lines is definitely very fair. Now for Drogoz. I told you guys about this one in the AOC meeting video. After thrusting, Drogoz will be able to keep more of his forward momentum when using his booster, allowing you to skate or ski through the air like he could back in the day. This will allow him to move faster and be a bit harder to hit. With the massive number of counters Drogoz has in the game, this is a very welcome buff to him. Also, if you have the card Propel, you'll further increase your momentum. On top of that, his Decimate card is going from 8 to 15% increased salvo radius. So currently, in order to get any worthwhile effects out of this card, you have to run at least 3 to 4 points in that card. What this buff will do is allow you to use less points, and still get value out of the card. Now yes, you could put all 5 points into it up to 75%, but you'll be giving up a lot of points that you need to put into more valuable cards, and not a card that buffs a 20-second cooldown ability. Now for Grover. His cripple duration is going from 2 to 1 second. Their reasoning for this is the 2-second cripple could often lead to guaranteed kills, especially at higher levels of play, so they brought it down. I can definitely agree with this. There have been many times where I'm playing Grover or playing against him and the cripple causes a lot of deaths. Now there will be a smaller window of opportunity to get that kill. Now many of you were concerned that Grover was getting nerfed too hard before, and are even more concerned that he's getting nerfed again. Before Grover's last set of nerfs, he was doing very well. He was prioritized over every other support, yes, including Damba, and he boasted the highest win rate in the game. After the nerfs, he was put down into a much more balanced spot, and he's now basically equal to Damba. This nerf should put him right in that sweet and balanced spot. And yes, he'll still perform just fine. Koga, yikes, poor Koga. His agility speed bonus is going from 50 to 30%. This is a pretty big nerf. After his last nerf, I didn't really think he needed any more. His Dragon Fang's talent definitely wasn't overpowered anymore. However, he was apparently still performing a bit too well according to Evil Mojo. They feel like the uptime of his speed combined with the 50% bonus was too much compared to other speed boosting abilities on other characters. Now, I won't lie, this is a really concerning nerf to me. After his claw nerfs, Koga went back to basically being a never-pick character at higher levels of play. Put this nerf on top of it and he's basically gonna be dead in the water. At lower levels, the decrease of speed will make him more manageable, but it's not ideal to kill a character off in one tier of play, just to make him more balanced in the other. I think it would have been better if some kind of trade-off was given to Koga. Take some speed, but give him some other boost geared towards higher level play. Then there's Lian. Her precision talent was pretty bad. Basically never picked at all, and when it was, it didn't really do anything significant, even compared to Alacrity. So they're buffing it up since the damage bonus was so low. Damage per hit increased from 2 to 5%, and max damage bonus increased from 5 to 25%. So if you don't miss a single bullet, you could be dealing 500 damage per hit to an enemy. You're likely only gonna hit that number on tanks though, because if you put 5 bullets into an enemy, they're gonna die anyway. Now a lot of people seem to be pretty upset with this buff. So guys, buffing a talent that is bad is not a bad thing. But I do understand, you're mainly frustrated that her presence spam build wasn't nerfed at all. I get that, and I agree. Her heraldry card should have been nerfed to limit her ability to spam presence. Yes, it does take skill to consistently land presences, but there is a limit to how much skill is supposed to reward you. Almost every time I play Lian, I feel over-rewarded, quite a bit. Now for Maeve. So in the AOC meeting, I got the impression that Martini implied that Maeve would be able to attack during Prowl without cancelling it, because Koga can do it. My impression turned out to be pretty wrong. He said he was basing it off community feedback, and the only community feedback I've personally seen in regards to that is Maeve not being able to attack during Prowl, but Koga can attack during Agility. In reality, what he meant was Maeve's Prowl is on a cooldown and has the same speed bonus as Koga with less uptime. So Koga's speed bonus was going to be nerfed and Maeve's total time in Prowl was going to be buffed. Her Prowl duration is going up from 4 to 5 seconds and her Savagery card will now heal on Pounce activation rather than hit. So I'm not in total agreement with the Koga and Maeve changes. Again, I think Koga was hit too much and Maeve's buffs don't really do a whole lot to help her. Maeve does fine in low to mid levels of play, and in high levels, Maeve isn't really seen at all. Maeve requires too much work in comparison to her reward. Certain damages and tanks make life really hard on her, while being way easier to get a lot of value out of. I can't really see these buffs helping her in higher levels at all. Often Prowl is cancelled early anyways, unless you're retreating with it. And no one runs the heal on Pounce over the DR on Pounce because the DR gives you more survivability without being countered by Cauterize. Then there is Skye. Debilitate's bonus damage is going from 30 to 25%. Skye will still be effective as a tank killer, but tanks will have a little more health left than normal after being hit by it. There's not a whole lot I could say about this. Skye in particular has been a big pain for tank players when it comes to the percentage health damage dealers. We on the AOC pushed for something to be done about this, and this is what ended up happening. On to Zhin. So a big thing about flanks is they have discrete moments of high survivability. The thing with Zhin is his moment of survivability lasts a long time and can be built to last different amounts of time. They wanted to normalize this. Billow's duration is being reduced from 2.5 to 1.5 seconds. Its movement speed bonus will go up from 20 to 30%, and his weapon lockout time after the ability ends is being reduced. On top of this, his hideout card is what allows you to mess with the duration of Billow, so it's being reworked. It will now reduce the cooldown of Whirl by 1 second per level. Smolder's healing is also going from 20 to 33% per second. So I can see how this sounds pretty harsh. For the most part, I don't really disagree with it. They want to normalize it, that's fine. I get lowering the duration and reworking the card so people can properly time when Billow is ending without having to memorize his level of hideout every game. I do think going down to 1.5 seconds was a bit much. I think 2 seconds would have been perfect. They did give him some buffs to compensate for this nerf and that's great. This is the kind of thing I wish happened with Koga. Anyway, these adjustments are something I definitely want to monitor on the PTS when it goes live, which is supposed to hopefully be on Friday. And that's it, that's all of the balance updates. Feel free to let me know what you guys think of the balance so I can start collecting feedback for Evil Mojo. I'll also of course collect more once people have gotten to play the PTS. Anyway, that's pretty much it guys, I want to thank you all for watching, I very much appreciate it, and I'm gonna see you guys laters. Bye.